Hi, everybody. So I'm Allison. If we haven't met already, I am the dietitian here at the Center for Weight Loss Surgery. So I am going to go through some of your post-op nutrition information with you on these next few slides. So let's start with in the hospital. You are going to get some ice chips on the first day of surgery. You're also going to get a clear liquid tray that very next day after surgery. On that tray, it's going to be a number of different things. There'll be some warm and hot liquids, and there'll be some cooler liquids. We definitely want you to focus on those warm and hot liquids. If you remember from your nutrition seminar with me, those warm and hot liquids are really what helps prevent you from feeling nauseous after surgery, and that's the #1 post-op complaint for weight loss surgery. So you definitely want to be proactive on that and go ahead and prevent it before you're even feeling it. So when you get that tray and you have those nice warm and hot liquids, go ahead and focus on those first while they're still hot. When you get the liquids, you want to sip about 1 ounce or about 30 milliliters every 5 to 10 minutes. So that's a pretty slow intake of fluids. That's just to kind of help wake your stomach back up and not overdo it too quickly, too fast. We do recommend that you use a cup with a lid on it. Smells can be a big problem after surgery. They can seem a lot stronger than usual, and so it may discourage you from drinking your liquid if it's a smell that you're not super excited about. So definitely try using a cup with a lid. We don't want you to use a straw just yet, but you can use that lid. You really want you to focus on that hydration. Adequate hydration is so important, and it's really difficult to kind of get back on track with if you're behind. So as you can see up here in the top of the slide, your #1 goal after surgery is to stay hydrated with a minimum of 64 ounces of fluid a day. Same recommendations for those fluids: nothing carbonated, nothing caffeinated, and nothing sweetened with sugar. But other than that, the fluids are fine. At this point, you're starting with just those clear liquids. So then after you get sent home, we get to add in that full liquid diet. So that's where we bring in those protein shakes. So your primary goal after you go home from surgery is still hydration, that minimum of 64 ounces, as you can see in that top box. But now we're going to add in some other goals. So your next goal is going to be to get 60 to 80 grams of protein a day. At this point, and for the first 3 months, that is all going to come from your protein drinks. So this is why we stress that we want you to have a bunch of different protein drinks that you like, that you have available to you, so you can rotate through those after surgery and you don't get burnt out. So you're going to start those protein drinks as soon as you get home from surgery, and you're going to work your way up to getting 60 to 80 grams of protein from those protein drinks. You can count that liquid in the protein drinks towards your 64 ounce of fluid goal as well. Now, once you meet those 2 goals, you are able to get started on those soft protein foods. You don't need to wait until your first visit with us. You just need to be meeting those first 2 goals at 64 ounces of fluid a day and 60 to 80 grams of protein from your protein drinks. You can find a list of some of those soft protein foods on page 50 in your patient handbook. We expect you to be having about 3 tablespoons 3 times a day, but not right away. So that's something to sort of work towards. Remember, everybody's a little bit different, and each food is going to feel a little bit different on your pouch. So don't be surprised if, one food you're able to eat half of a tablespoon of, and another food you're able to eat 2 tablespoons of at first. Now, keep in mind, you're not counting the protein in this food towards that protein goal just yet. So this is all just bonus protein at this point. That protein is really coming from those protein drinks. Now, also keep in mind, the good news is you get to start that soft protein food, but the thing you need to remember is the drinking rule comes with that as well whenever you're eating solid food. So just as a refresher, the drinking rule is no drinking with your meal or for an hour after. So even though your meal might be just half of a hard-boiled egg, that's still your meal, that's still your solid food. So no drinking with that or for an hour after. Okay, so at home, you're hydrating really well, you're drinking your protein drinks, and you're adding in those soft protein foods. Then you're going to come in to see us, get your staples removed for your first appointment. So we are going to progress you now from not just those soft, mushy protein foods to all protein foods, so including things like chicken breast that can be a little bit drier. Again, you're going to work your way up to 3 ounces of protein at each meal, but we want you to go slow, chew really, really well with each of these, take very small bites. We want to make sure that you're not getting overfilled too quickly. Remember, it takes about 15 minutes for our stomach to let our head know when we're full. So chewing really well, taking small bites, and going slow is going to help prevent getting overfilled with food. We want you to be picking that good quality protein, not any not so great protein, so focus on chicken, fish, eggs, dairy, beans. Those are all really good high quality proteins. Again, no breaded or deep fried proteins, just like you were doing on your pre-op diet. You are able to introduce dairy again at this point, and that's just because some people struggle with lactose right after surgery. We also want you to get started back on your vitamins at this point. So depending on what procedure you had, your guidelines will be a little bit different, but we'll go over that with you at your visit, and you have information about that in your patient handbook. So again, the goals aren't changing, just to review those. The first goal is still hydration, at least 64 ounces a day of fluid, 60 to 80 grams of protein from your protein drinks, and then that bonus protein from your foods. We're now just adding in all the protein foods instead of just those soft, mushy protein foods. So just to kind of give you a general overview of the diet, again, you're going to be coming in at pretty much all of these stages. And so we'll check in and kind of remind you of each of these steps as we go through. And you have information about each of these in your patient handbook. And we've already reviewed it with you at your nutrition seminar. So again, hopefully this is just an overview, a little refresher. After your surgery, you're going to be focusing on those good protein sources, 1 ounce to 3 ounces of protein at each meal. You're going to work your way up to that 3 ounces of protein at each meal. You're going to follow the drinking rule, and you're going to be drinking your fluids and your protein supplements in between your meals. At 4 weeks after surgery, you can add protein bars back in if you want to. You don't have to eat protein bars. Again, they do count as a food, and so you would still have to follow the drinking rule with them, no fluids with them, or for an hour after. At 8 weeks after surgery, you're going to add back in fruits and veggies. Again, that's whole, complete fruits and veggies. You're going to go really slow. You're going to chew really, really well, take very small bites, and take your time. Practice that mindful eating. And then at 6 months, that's when we can add back in those whole grains. Here's kind of an overview of what your plate might look like at different points after surgery. So you can see here, after your surgery up to 2 months, we're just focusing on that really good quality lean protein. Your carbs are going to kind of naturally fall in that 30 grams of net carbohydrates a day. After about 2 months to 6 months after surgery, you're doing that good high quality protein, 3 to 4 ounces at each meal, and also working your way up to 3 to 4 ounces of whole complete fruits and or vegetables at each of your meals. Hopefully you're doing more vegetables than fruits. You're going to kind of naturally fall in that 30 to 60 grams of net carbohydrates a day at this point of your diet. And then 6 months after your surgery and beyond that, that's when we're doing that 3 to 4 ounces of good quality protein, followed by 3 to 4 ounces of good, complete, whole fruits and vegetables, and then 3 to 4 ounces of whole grains. We want you to focus on eating your protein first and finishing that, then eating your fruit or vegetable, again, hopefully vegetable more often than fruit, finishing that. Then if there's still room, eating your whole grains. At 6 months and after, you're going to be at about 60 to 100 grams of net carbohydrates a day. Keep in mind as you kind of walk through this that we don't expect your meals to ever exceed about 8 to 12 ounces per meal, or about 1 to 1.5 cups per meal. If you're eating more than that, definitely check in with me and let's just make sure nothing else is going on. Vitamins are for life. They're super, super important. We do want you to begin your vitamins again after your post-op appointment. So you're taking your vitamins as your pre-op, part of your pre-op plan. You're going to stop taking your vitamins with your surgery, and then you'll start them again when you come and see us. Again, there's a table on page 30 of your patient handbook with lots of great information about which vitamins to take depending on which procedure you had. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. Okay, so what should you do before surgery? Review your nutrition seminar handouts. It's going to go more in depth with everything that we talked about, especially if it's been a little while since you've had your nutrition seminar. Look over that suggested shopping list from the nutrition seminar. See if there's anything on there that might be helpful for you. Now would be a good time to pick those things up. Definitely stock your pantry with lots of good warm and hot liquid options and your protein shake options. And then make sure you have my name, my phone number, and my email address written down in case you do have any questions. All right, Billy will be in on the video next to share with you some exercise information.